Welcome to the dark side of BEASTwriter. I am your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we're going to be breaking down, making sense of news that came out yesterday as it pertains to the Las Vegas Raiders and being awarded 2 compensatory selections. Now, there are some things in regards to the compensatory selections. There are some rule changes that happened back in 2017. We're going to go ahead and break that all down for you here in the DOB. And the reason I like to do this is because we want to leave no stone unturned, right? This is a very educational type of channel. And so I kind of want you guys to learn something. Anytime I put something or hop on or create a video like such as this, I want you guys to learn something. And hopefully you guys can learn something from it, like take something from it. And then obviously I learn from you guys as well. So it's just like I said, it's just all about good vibes only here in the DOB. Everyone has their own opinion on things, which is awesome. I strongly encourage debates, right? Healthy debates and healthy discussions, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I don't like people that always agree with me, even though I'm right most of the time. I'm joking, kind of not. But anyways, no, in all seriousness, it's good to debate with people, because at the end of the day, when you see some things from a different lens, you actually take that and say, hey, maybe I didn't think about that. Maybe that dude does have a point. Maybe that girl does have a point. Right. And so that's what I like about the DOB, is because the feedback and the social media engagement that we encourage here in the DOB has been nothing but good vibes only since moving over here to Las Vegas from the Bay Area. So again, mahalo to each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel. And be sure to turn on and flip on the bell notifications. I'm going to say that and keep pounding that, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get notified when I go live or when I update static videos such as this. So be sure to turn on and flip on the bell notifications on your iPhone, on your Android. Just go to the settings, and you guys can do that through the YouTube app that you're in. And you guys know the lingo on that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, like this video if you find it educational, if you find it of value, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, right? I hope you guys learn something from this. It does take a lot of time for me to hop on and create these videos. Like I said, I'm a one-man show. I'm self-employed. I'm my own lighting guy. I'm my own sound check guy. I'm my own content creator guy. I'm my own timestamp on keeping things on schedule guy. I'm the thumbnail maker. So I'm the photo guy, I guess you can say. I got to take photos at practice, edit those videos, edit those photos, and then hop them on with a thumbnail that is, gosh, I can go on and on the thumbnail versions of it and different formats based on the social media outlet you're trying to push. So they're different dimensions. Look, it's a huge hassle, but I do it all for you guys. And I'm happy that you guys like the content. Thank you so much. Mika from Germany, Kevin Lurker. All you guys have been sending me super chats. Kelly Joseph sent me a nice Venmo as a thank you through Venmo, which is in the description box below of all my videos. But everyone has been showing me nothing but love and support. I didn't want to leave anyone out. I'm just going to go ahead and do this because I want to thank everyone. I don't want to miss anyone. So I'm going to go ahead and let me go ahead and do this real fast. All right. So I want to make sure that I thank everyone on here. Raider Dad 559, thank you so much. He made some very, very positive comments and feedback for me. He said, "Thank you for another great video and content. You're one of the few who knows what they are talking about with the experience to know all the individual team draft strategies." And just messages like these making and creating these videos worthwhile. Daniel Kim says, depth and skill. Can't wait for this offseason to play itself out all the way out. Looking forward to our acquisitions and the Beast board for this year's draft. My man DK, we became good friends through YouTube, believe it or not. D Menace says, thanks for the update. I was all concerned about the Mutai re-signing, but you sold me on him, Beast. Kevin Lurker, my guy. Another one. All you guys are my guys. When I say my guy, you guys are part of the DOB family. So he says, Mahalo, Beast. Last year, it seems they approached running back early as well. I could be wrong. I just don't want 5 running backs on the roster again. I thought that was irresponsible. Hope you're doing well. Jeremy Willis. I like Jeremy. Jeremy he has some really good insight. I really like Jeremy Willis. Shout out to Jeremy. He says, Ryan, I'd love to see Abdullah as a primary running back too, not just a third down back. And then we had a little discussion. Mitchell from Raider Germany says, "Great show again. Thanks," and send me a super thanks. So thank you everyone for the super thanks and the super chats on the live streams, and as well as again Kelly Joseph. For you guys can also shoot me a thank you over and donation over Venmo. I do accept those as well. It's at BEASTwriter. Just find me. And it's in the description box below. It's also on my channel or on my YouTube channel. So if you want to support the channel, support the DOB family, we're going to go ahead and, like I said, keep this thing going. It's like a startup. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you I'm making a tons of money here, sitting here making these videos. But at the end of the day, I'm very passionate about what I do. And I think at the end of the day, the hustle and grind will prove itself in itself, if that makes sense. Like if you work hard, you'll get noticed. If you do, not only if you work hard, you have to do your job. If you work hard and do a good job at what you do, you will get noticed. So I'm very, very hopeful. And again, I wouldn't be here without you guys in my corner. I just want to give you guys a shout out before hopping on this static video as we talk and break down making sense of the Raiders 11 draft picks. So thank you so much. And again, if you guys want to support, you guys can do that with a super chat or a super sticker, or in this case, it'd be considered a super thanks. And you guys can do that. But again, as a thank you for all you guys, like I said, I like to give back when I can. And we are launching DOB giveaways. I went over to the Raider Image store, made some few friends over there over the course of the year, and I got these bad boys, right? So I bought these myself with the super chats and stickers and the super thanks to give back to all of you guys. So my goal is to hit 5,000 subscribers by the time the season rolls around. So we have from now until basically August to hit 5,000. We're at 4,900 right now, so I'm pretty sure all we need is 100 subscribers. So share all the videos that I post if you like them. If you think other Raider Nation will like the videos, because I can, like I said, I'm my own hype man. I don't have the luxury of a huge network. I wish I did. That has my back in terms of posting these videos up. Because again, people are talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. We talked about this what 3-4 weeks ago, almost a month ago. Talked about what the Raiders are going to do at number 7 already. Talked about how GM Ryan Poles was going to trade number 1. What did they do? Oh, they traded number 1 today. Like these are things that the Beast Receipts check out on. This is off the top of my head that just happened with current events. So you guys know what I bring to the table. I want other Raider Nation to know what I bring to the table, and that's what makes this all fun. So again, the way I try to do business, I can't speak for anyone else but myself, is the Beast Receipts, right? Watching game film, running those grades, grading the snap, not the box scores. These are things I like to do because, again, it doesn't make it better, it doesn't make it worse. It just makes it different, right? And I think different sometimes can be a good thing in a lot of ways, right? Because you're doing things that's different. It may go against conventional wisdom, but at the end of the day, if you like the content and the content checks out in hindsight from real time, that's what we call a beast receipt. And more times than not, the receipts check out. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and give back to you guys with this Raiders helmet that you can bring inside the stadium. So you cannot bring, for those who don't know, never been to Allegiant Stadium, I've been told that you can't bring any type of memorabilia inside the stadium unless it's a Raiders helmet or a certain number of other things, what I've been told. Now, this is something that you can bring into the helmet, and they'll allow you to use this helmet to get it signed. And so that's really cool. It had, you can bring in posters because people brought in posters and you can sign posters and stuff. Jerseys, I'm sure you can still, if you had a jersey, you can go ahead and sign jerseys. I've done that. I've signed jerseys. I signed helmets and other things. So this is one of the few things that the Raiders allow you to bring in, from what I've been told. And that's why I bought these. These are $40, $34.99 plus tax, so round up to $40. And we're going to be running a giveaway, and you guys can have this signed. Hopefully, I can get some players to sign this, or maybe some former players to sign it. Maybe a Charles Woodson would be cool. Who else do you guys like? I don't know. Hall of Famers? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. It'll be cool to get this signed by Jim Plunkett from my hometown, Eastside San Jose. Holla at your boy. All right. Anyways, back to draft picks, which y'all been waiting for. We're going to talk about the draft picks, right? So the Raiders were awarded 11 draft picks. Just get the ticker up. Is the ticker up? Yeah, the ticker's up. All right. So let's go ahead and delve back into the past in order to predict the future. Like, how did GM Dave Ziegler get 11 draft picks? Well, what I talked about earlier on the year, talked about the draft capital that GM Dave Ziegler is building up. and people didn't really pay attention to it because they're like, "Ah, it's still the season." Like, "Nah, man, like, you gotta look at different things and how that's gonna formulate the future success." And so that's what I like doing. And again, GM Dave Ziegler making power play moves, as I always say, right? So what did he do before the season started? Well, he went ahead and struck a deal for Jarrett Stidham. And you guys saw my Jarrett Stidham piece, and that's what hit me up on Raider Nation Radio, and they asked from what I thought about Jarrett Stidham. That was my Raider Nation debut with Monsignori, who caught up on the article, really liked what I had to say, and he had me on there. Fast forward to today, this is what happened with that trade, right? Broke down that trade in real time, told you guys it was gonna be a good move. Kinda saw what GM Dave Ziegler is doing in solidifying future draft capital in future drafts, not just the one in the year he's in and the year after that, but then 2, 3 years down the road, right? So he went ahead and struck a 2-for-1 deal. He got Jarrett Stidham. He had to give up a 6th-round pick in return, but then he also got the 7th-round pick back. So now he has 2 7th-round picks, no 6th-round pick, and also got a good on the back of him, Jarrett Stidham, who understands the system, and you guys know how I like Stiddy Magic. Labeled him Stiddy Magic for a reason, right? So that's number 1. Trade number 2, before the season began, he also traded Brian Edwards. People was like, "Oh, man, that was a dumb move. Brian Edwards this, but" look, what did I tell you about Brian Edwards? There's a lot of Brian Edwards in the draft. There's a lot of Brian Edwards in free agency. All right, so Crimea River. I said, good move by GM Dave Ziegler. What happened? They went ahead and traded away Brian Edwards to the Atlanta Falcons, and GM Terry Fontenot, right, traded him along with a 2023 7th-round pick. So not only did GM Dave Ziegler trade his 6th-round pick, but he traded his own 7th-round pick, but he gave back a 5th-round pick in return. So now if you're talking about leveraging the draft, you're moving up 2 rounds of draft capital in order to get rid of a player that you really didn't know and you really didn't want anyways, because that's not your guy. You didn't draft him. He doesn't fit your scheme. And these are the power play moves I talked about in real time. Go back and see what I had to say on my live streams about that trade. And people, oh my gosh, you're new to the Raiders. You don't know, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. How did Brian Edwards do? Go look it up. I'm just going to say, again, this is an educational video. Go look it up. See how well Brian Edwards did. All right. Anyways, so in that deal, it was a 1-for-2 deal, but he did get 2 round 5 picks in return because he has his own 5th-round pick, and now he picked up a 5th-round pick in this trade. Then, what did GM Dave Ziegler do? He's like, "Oh, well, during the draft," he's like, "Man, the 2023 draft is coming up, and Jonathan Hankins not getting it done. BEASTwriter's grading system." I'm joking. He doesn't look at my grading system, but the film never lies, and you just go to the film, he's not playing very well. I got grades. And so he said, "Hey, look, I lost my 7th-round pick, right? I'm sorry, I lost my 6th-round pick. I lost that in the Jarrett Stidham deal. I did get a 7th-round pick. But what I kinda want that 6th-round pick back to leverage draft capital. So let's just get rid of Jonathan Hankins. Let's just ship him off to a contender, a playoff contender like the Dallas Cowboys, along with a 7th-round pick in the next year's draft, 2024, and let's go ahead and get that 6th-round pick back." And that's exactly what happened. It was a 1-for-2 deal, and they got that 6th-round draft pick back. So you can kinda see how he's very smart. Dave Ziegler is a very smart GM. And people who are saying he sucks, man, what are you talking about, bro? They have 11 draft picks now. So let's go ahead and do the math. Let's go ahead and look at the analytics of it. They have round 1, number 7 overall. They have round 2 pick. They have their own round 3 pick, right, number 70 overall. They have round 4 pick, number 109. They have round 5 pick, number 141. They have the Atlanta Falcons, 5th-round pick, which is 3 picks later, number 144. Keep an eye on those 2 picks in round 5. In fact, if I had to make a guess, I think that GM Dave Ziegler, calling it now, he's gonna leverage some of the draft capital to move up in the draft and also move back into the draft, possibly for 2024, because he lost that 7th-round pick in 2024 for Jonathan Hankins. So look for him to recoup. I'm excited. Look for him to recoup that draft capital in future years. Look, this is what he does. This is what he does, and you gotta kinda see it for what it really is. It's not just, "Oh, draft capital doesn't make" no. In round 6 through 7, every NFL team is gonna be fighting for these last players who have draft picks, and the reason I say that is because why? Everyone's gonna be fighting for those undrafted rookie free agents. They need camp bodies. They'll be on the call with the agent or with the player themselves. "Hey, look, you wanna come here? Boom, let's get you signed. Boom, 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 boom." You know how it goes. Come on. And let's be honest about this. In all honesty, some of these undrafted rookie free agents are better than some of the players drafted in the 6th and 7th rounds. I'm just saying. And they make the 53-man roster. Luke Masterson for one, right? Darian Butler, Isaiah Polamau. Come on, let's talk football. Anyway, back to it. So you look at the draft capital they have, right? So they have the 5th round picks that we talked about, multiple 5th round picks. One was acquired through the Brian Edwards trade. And then they also picked up a compensatory pick in the 5th round at number 174. So now they have 3 5th round picks early on. When you have 3 5th round picks, that's going to do and give you maneuverability to either trade back, stockpile more picks, which I don't think is going to happen. I think they're going to use that draft capital to move up. And then, if anything, trade for a future 2024 5th round pick for the following year. So, someone like, say, a GM really likes a player in the 5th round, like a Ronald Blair or something that GM Trent Baalke liked back in, what was it, 2016? And he was saying, hey, look, like, man, we really like this player. So let's go ahead and strike a deal and trade back with the Los Angeles Chargers or San Diego Chargers at the time so they can go ahead and get Melvin Gordon. We'll trade back from 15 to 17, get Eric Armstead, get 2 picks in return on top of that, and pick up a guy by the name of Blake Bell, who's a tight end known as the Belldozer. And let's go ahead and get, because we think he's going to be available, let's go get our Ronald Blair, who he called and labeled one of his favorite players in that draft class. How do I remember this? 3 seats check out. I liked Ronald Blair coming out. That was my question to GM Balky at his press conference. But anyways, back to it. Ronald Blair, good guy. Hey, look, fast forward to today, I can see that happening. And again, if you look at what they did in round 6, what did they do? They went ahead and got that Jonathan Hankins trade squared away. So they picked up that round 6 pick back that they lost from the Jarrett Stidham deal because that was a 2-for-1 deal, but they lost that draft capital, moving back 1 round, but still got the backup quarterback in return. And stay with me here. And then what they did, and also the 6th round, is they picked up another compensatory pick at pick number 214. And we're going to go ahead and talk about those compensatory picks now. What does compensatory selections mean? So if you follow me on Twitter, which is in the description box below, I challenge you, and I would like you, for all of you guys, to follow me on social media below, because you don't want to miss a beat. I already discussed this on Twitter, discussed this on YouTube. No, I didn't discuss this on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you may want to get a Twitter if you don't have one, or Instagram. I repost some of my tweets on Instagram, my IG stories. Anyways, all of my social media is listed in the description box below. Everyone has a Facebook, everyone has a Twitter, everyone has a YouTube, everyone has an Instagram. Follow me on all those 4 social media platforms, what I like to call the Big 4 and the Power Play 4, and you will be entered for our BEASTwriter giveaways, such as this helmet. But getting back to it, what is a compensatory selection? Well, the Raiders, like I just told you, were awarded 2 compensatory selections, and compensatory picks are awarded through an algorithm based on net gains minus losses in the previous year's free agency, which in this case would be 2022, and are rewarded in rounds 3 through 7. So when you take that into account and say, okay, well, what is that algorithm? Well, they're not going to show you the algorithm, because every GM would kind of be, well, let's get rid of this player, then we can do this, and then we can get a 3rd round pick, a 3rd round pick, and a 3rd round pick, and a 3rd. The parameters for the algorithm is based on the number of different factors. It goes by average annual salary, playing time, postseason honors for a player on his new respective team. So back in 2017, which was the first year that compensatory picks could be traded. Before that, you had to make the selection. You couldn't trade those selections. Now you can trade those selections dating back to 2017. So that's pretty cool. So now we can talk about maneuverability, right? Compensatory selections are very key because it's a critical component when you build up your draft board, because you're going to have to see a cluster of players and kind of project where these players are falling. Thank God you have me to cover the draft. But I'm joking. Kind of not. But kind of am. You never can tell. No, I joke a lot. Okay, calm down. But in all honesty, that's how the 11 draft capital, 11 picks have been awarded. So when you take all that into consideration, they have 2 second-round picks, one being a compensatory selection, and they also traded Trayvon Mullen. You guys remember Trayvon Mullen was traded, again, not a GM Dave Ziegler guy, and he traded him for a 7th-round pick in 220, and then also If you remember in that Jarrett Stidham 2-for-1 deal that I just talked about, they lost a 6th-round pick, but gained a 7th-round pick from the New England Patriots and picking up Jarrett Stidham in return, and that is pick number 231 in the 7th round. So, with all that being said, what are the Raiders gonna do with those 11 draft picks, right? So, look, what's the instant gratification versus long-term gain? And let's go ahead and talk about that. Well, let me put the ticker first. All right, there's talk right now on Twitter that the Raiders would have to trade up from number 7 to get the 4th quarterback off the board. And my response is, are you kidding me? Like Chicago, Houston, Indianapolis all need quarterbacks. Okay, that goes without saying. But there's no way that Seattle is in the market for a quarterback. There's no way that the I don't know, Detroit Lions, I don't think they're in the market. No, I'm not saying I'll watch it happen and 4 quarterbacks go in the first 5 picks. No, I just don't see it happening based on my analytics. Look, I've been doing this for a while. Been doing it dating back to 1998 and mocking players since 1999, 2000. 1990, no, I would say 2000, but tracking since 1999 and 1998. Look, based on my analytics and what GMs are, based on that scouting department and how they like to do business, based on free agency coming around and everything so forth, trust me when I say this, and I can get it wrong. Look, the expectation for a lot of you guys is when I do get it wrong, that's more like, oh my God, he got it wrong. Than if I got it right. You guys expect me to get it right. But this is how I see it playing out, right? The Beast receipts check out. Just go ahead and check out the Beast receipts more times than not. I would argue that it's in the 80% hit rate. So just like Ryan Poles tells he's going to trade it, he traded. Okay, number 1 pick overall. He's going to trade it. Boom, happened. Said the Raiders were going to be on Jimmy Garoppolo, who Jeremy Fowler just tweets it. What, 10 days later? How many days later? We're in on Jimmy Garoppolo. But they're also in on every quarterback. So you can say that about Aaron Rodgers. You can say that about Anthony Richardson. You can say, look, smoke screens, bro. There's a lot of smoke screens. You got to sift through the smoke to find what is really going on. No one's going to give you the answer. No one's going to, hey, look, text somebody or call somebody. Hey, yeah, are they going to go or are they going to go after this guy? Yeah, we're thinking about taking this guy. What? No, who would do that? I'm just saying, ain't nobody going to do that. So you got to run the grades. You got to do your own legwork, cross-check hindsight from real time to hindsight, go back and run grades on players like I like to do. You don't have to do those things. I like to do these things. I'm only speaking for myself right now, how I like to do it. And then kind of form an analysis from there because no one's going to give you the answers. Like a teacher, when you take a test, teachers will be like, oh, yeah, can you give me the answers, professor? You'll be like, what? Did you do your homework? Be like, nope. Anyways, I think what the Raiders are going to do, and I talked about this earlier on earlier live stream, what's making sense to the Raiders' 7th pick overall, I think they're going to go PPA. I think if Jalen Carter's sitting there at number 7, how can you not take Jalen Carter? Now, I graded every snap of Jalen Carter that I got my hands on. All right, Jalen Carter is a very, 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 very good 3-technique defensive tackle, but I question his conditioning. All right, he's a bigger player, but I question his conditioning because in a lot of those games, there were blowout wins by Georgia. So he played maybe half the game at best, but when he did, he played lights out. But I really, really strongly consider whether or not I can count on him on being a 3-down player. And again, when you draft a player, you can't just look at him at a positional need, say, oh, he's a 3-tech defensive tackle. Where does he fit as a 3-tech defense? How many snaps is he going to play? Is he going to be on rundowns? Is he going to be a primary pass rusher from the interior? Are you going to move him or kick him outside in dime packages from nickel? Like you have to understand these different dynamics and parameters when you plug and play a player, right? And so that's why when I broke down Nolan Smith before the NFL Combine, I said, this is a guy no one should sleep in. No one should sleep on. No one or sleep in. You shouldn't sleep on this guy. He's a 3-4 weak side outside linebacker. He has the speed. We talked about this. Beast receipt checks out. And all of a sudden, Nolan Smith was the talk of the combine. No surprise here. I did the homework. I graded every single snap that I got my hands on when it comes to Nolan Smith out of Georgia. All right. So Christian Gonzalez, same thing. The measurables check out. Predicted what his measurable was going to be. Put him up on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, came down to an inch of what he was going to do. His 4.37. Look, I'll just put it right now. Christian Gonzalez. You guys know what I had to say about Christian Gonzalez, right? So I put this up on Twitter. I also talked about it here, and I said Christian Gonzalez is going to be the truth The truth. Look, I thought this is my predicted times based on the film study when I watched Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. All right. I said he's 40 times going to be a 4.37. Check the Beast receipts on Twitter. 4.37. Vertical jump is going to be a 38.5 to 41.5. Broad jump is going to be 135 inches. Actual, I say he was going to run a 4.37. He ran a 4.38. I say he was going to have a vertical jump of 38.5 to 41.5. Vertical jump, 41.5. Broad jump, I said it was going to be 135 inches. Broad jump was 133 inches, only 2 inches off. So grade the snap, not the box score. You can kind of see things on film, and that's what the combine is for, is to cross-check my numbers, what I see on film to the combine, because at the end of the day, if there's some discrepancy there, then you have to go back and watch more film and see why did he look faster or why does he look slower than on film than he did in shorts. Or vice versa. Sometimes a guy looks slower in shorts and he looks faster in pads. Crazy as it sounds, I've seen it happen. But anyways, that's where we stand, and that's where the Raiders stand. So again, we want to grade the snap, not the box score when it comes to evaluating these players. Also knowing that dynamics of the other 31 other NFL teams. Look, you can't just plug and play in the offseason. You can't do that. It's near impossible. You have to run grades on throughout the year on the other 31 NFL teams to kind of figure out what their needs are. And then once free agency plays a role in this, obviously, based on needs, you have to look at the financial snap sheet of exactly where they're allocating those funds or resources and then how that's going to affect their future 2 to 3 years out. It's a lot of legwork. It's a lot, but I love it. And that's why I beat ESPN NFL Network in my mock drafts over the last 2 years and never finished worse than third over the last 7. The pudding. Anyways, check it out. I hope you guys liked what I had to say on this Raiders exclusive static video when it comes to making sense of GM Dave Ziegler yielding 11 draft picks, or holding, I should say, 11 draft picks in the upcoming NFL draft. I fully expect him to only use half of those draft picks, because I think what he's going to do is he's going to take 11 and then he's going to kind of double down on that and maybe make some 2-for-1 or even 3-for-2 trades and kind of trade up or trade down and get more draft capital in future years. So again, this is how you kind of want to play the game, because at the end of the day, it's all about the long game. It's not about the instant gratification so much. And so many people are talking about the pending free agents. Oh, we should go after James Bradbury. Oh, we should go after this player. Oh, we should go after Taylor Lewan. I mean, these are just household names at this point. Like, don't get me wrong. These players are solid players, but are they worth the return on your investment, the ROI? I'm not so sure when you look at the valuation versus evaluation when you grade the snap, not the box score. So when I grade the snap, not the box score, I don't see a player valued at that. And again, anytime you delve into the free agency, you're going to buy a stock at its high, and that's what you don't want to do. You want to build through the draft, retain that homegrown talent, and develop some of these players. So again, thank you so much. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I know I had a lot of fun. If you liked the video, give this video a thumbs up, and be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications. And also, if you want to donate to the channel, you can do so with a super thanks, and that would be helpful a lot as well. It's a money icon and it's a heart icon in the description below. So you guys can just click on that and you'll be able to donate to the DOB. So thank you so much. We're about half an hour in. I had a lot of fun on this. We're going to hop back on tomorrow discussing the announcement of the re-signings. If you guys haven't heard the news, 2 players got re-signed: offensive tackle Brandon Parker and tight end Jesper Horsted. And there's not much really to say other than they got re-signed. I mean, they're camp bodies. We don't know how they're going to provide good depth. Obviously, both those players are likely candidates to make the 53 if they're healthy and if they can show that they have improved from last year. Obviously, Brandon Parker was on the IR, but it's good to note that these players were re-signed, because at the end of the day, GM Dave Ziegler must see something in them for him to extend those 2 players. So again, there's a lot of things to talk about, a lot of different parameters. I'm going to hop on a live stream either tomorrow or maybe sometime on Monday as I kind of formulate my analysis on what I want to talk about. Obviously, Lamar Jackson is the talk of the town, and I have been running grades on Lamar Jackson and what he brings to the table and if he's good buy or sell here in Las Vegas. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. And again, spread the word to all your family and friends as we keep things hot here in the DOB, so you guys can go ahead and be entered for this Raiders official, guys. It's an official helmet, and this bad boy You can have players sign it. You can have coaches sign it. You can have GM Dave Ziegler. You can have the team president, Sandra, sign it. She signs a lot of stuff as well. So really cool things going on here in lovely Las Vegas. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. Take care. Hopefully you learned something. BEASTwriter out.